everybody. This is episode three of the new show, Bosom Blurredies, brought to you by the Blurred Nerds. You can find our fabulous podcast wherever podcasts are sold or just listen to for free. As you can see, our man Timmy, to my left, is wearing one of our designs, the Blurred Nerds t-shirt, the original logo, snazzy. You can find that our Teespring store, the Blurred Nerd store, as well as a new design with my face, the Geekfather, and our a wonderful little bit in animated form, which is a really fancy design.
I want that shirt.
Yes, you should get it. It's designed by none other than our friend Zip Allegria, also known as Zip Draw. You can find him at twitch.tv/ZipDraw. And all the links to that will be in the video down in the description down below. So please, if you can, like and subscribe. If you like what you're listening to or watching, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. It's really going to help us expand our reach and reach our subscription and sponsorship goals, so we can make the dollar bills, make that cheddar.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice. Money. I love money. Who doesn't? We're here today to discuss. Well, we're here to actually just to rant. It's nerd rant time.
We're going to go off.
We are going to go off. Going off is the title of the episode. Going off. And we're here. I'm here with my buddy, the amazing photojournalist extraordinaire, Jedi photojournalist. He's a goddamn photojournalist. Timmy Stewart. Welcome to the Bosom Blurredies, Timmy. How are you doing?
Life is good. Thank you for having me.
So you're here. We're on a nice, relaxing afternoon. It's now warm. The sun is shining. You're drinking yourself a nice stout. Looks delicious. Yeah, nice. In his Groot and Baby Yoda cup. It's dope. I'm in my little Fortress of Solitude around my little nerd action figures and all my toys, whatnot. We're here to complain about things.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So one of the first things I want to complain about, thing that's been bothering the shit out of me for, I've been watching a few things where I have to do this thing and it pisses me off. You know how you watch like a movie, TV show, whatever, and it doesn't have to be just sci-fi, it could be anything. And someone like gets a text message and they look at their phone and it shows like the text message on the phone, but it doesn't zoom in. Like it just expects you to read that small ass print.
That's the worst.
From where you are. And it's like, a lot of it is exposition heavy. So it's like, I need to know what that's saying because it's going to give me insight of what's going on. But I can't read it. My French, if we have to bleep the curse words, I can't read it. Or it's like a letter, and I'm like, I can't read that handwriting. What does it say? Could you maybe have whatever character is reading the letter or the text, could you maybe have them read it aloud in their head in the person who sent it's voice?
The only show that I've seen that has actually done that and been any good at it is on Apple TV, the Emily Dickinson thing.
Wild nights. Where I with thee.
I have not
because it's
that, but I hear
it's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's so small, and my wife and I just got a much bigger TV than we had previously, but we still have to pause that crap. And I'm like, hang on, I get up from the couch and go look at with my bifocals because I'm old and it's a pain.
For us vision challenged peoples, and I have just bought a fancy 50-inch 4K TV. It's beautiful, everything's crisp, but still, man.
We got a 55, same problem.
I got like an idiot, like when I was a little kid, sitting close to the TV, like I'm like 2 feet away from the TV, just like,
yeah.
What does it say? What does it say? Pause it real quick.
Right, and on some things like Hulu, whenever you pause it, the screen goes dark. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about?
But like it's even worse when you're at the movies or you're watching something, you can't just pause it. You're just like, I don't know what that's saying. I guess I'm just gonna guess,
You mean back when we could go out?
Back in the day. Well, in Texas, they're just like, hey man, what restrictions? mask mandates. Yeah, we don't need to do that anymore. We'll just good luck. It's like Thunderdome out there.
Let's not get political, but that guy's an idiot.
Yeah, that's maybe the days come when we get to go back to movie theaters. Someone will watch this and listen and be like, "Oh, you know what? Geekfather is right. We should really maybe put the print, like a little subtitle on the screen, what it says." I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think your original suggestion was better. Like if I get a text from you and I'm on screen trying to read my phone, have it say in your voice, "Hey, Timmy, yo, what's up?" You know, whatever.
Or like in the bottom right corner of the screen, they're reading the text, put the little text so it shows what they're reading. I saw a show that did that and I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you."
I've seen shows where they put like graphics on the side.
Yeah.
Where it's like what the text message, but they're bigger and they don't go away like in 3 seconds.
It's like I used to make fun of, my mother and other people, they had to put the text or the print larger on something, like the text print is really large. And now I'm like, well, what's that say? I gotta make that larger. I can't read that small. It's so tiny, That's
yeah, it's terrible. Hollywood, listen up. Geekfather's got a great idea.
I know. So what do you want to rail about? We got tons. We got a list of things.
I have been a fan. Yoda has been my hero since 1980. And I hate how divisive Star Wars fans are.
No, we're the worst, aren't we?
Yes. Yeah.
We're the absolute worst.
God
forbid something Star Wars comes out that isn't quite what you expected in your imagination, and then it just becomes the worst thing ever.
So, and probably talk.
The old man.
I will finish what you started.
We're probably talking about the sequel trilogy. There were parts of it that were okay, and parts of it I was like, really, why? But because of that doesn't mean that I automatically hate Star Wars. It's part of my life. It has been, and I will always be a fan. I just won't rewatch that crap.
Right. Hey, what do you say? You don't have to watch all the Star Wars. Like, when it first comes out, sure, you're curious, you want to check it out. But if it ain't your speed or your cup of tea, you can just. It's fine. Don't watch it again.
No, the 3 new movies. Well, no, I guess because Solo fell in between 2 and 3 for the sequel trilogy. But the sequel trilogy, I've seen the first one twice, and that's enough. And the second 2 once in the theater with you guys, and that's enough. But there are parts that I can still hang on to. Empire Strikes Back will still be the greatest movie ever made in my lifetime.
Do or do not. There is no try.
I'm rewatching Rebels right now on the Disney Plus app. I loved Rebels. It was so good.
Let's go, Rebels.
You know,
it was really good. I try to tell people about it, and they're like, "I don't want to watch it. Is it gonna be like Clone Wars? Because that was like boring for the first like 3 seasons." I'm like, "Yeah, but
Clone Wars was great.
Yeah, the first 2 seasons were kind of.
They were slow. They were slow, but
it built up, and things got really awesome there at the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have friends who are just like, they absolutely cannot forgive Star Wars for turning Luke Skywalker into a grumpy old man.
But why? We all turn into grumpy old men, don't we?
It happens to the best of us. Like, I mean, I don't know what they're expecting different from their Jedi. Like Yoda, he turned into, look at Obi-Wan. What happened? He turned into a grumpy old hermit. Yoda, what happened? He turned into a grumpy old hermit. Luke Skywalker, what happened?
He turned into a grumpy old hermit. Yeah.
That's what Jedi do. They turn into solitary, grumpy ass old hermits. Imagine if they ever did any more movies and Rey was in it, she'd turn into a grumpy old cat lady. That'd be kind
Probably.
of Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love cats.
Love cats, yeah. She's like, "You like my love cats? I think they're sweet. Let's go feed them." How many do you have, Ray? I've got 56 by last count. I think I had 57, but one of them died. It was really sad, Like, okay.
No, but seriously, I mean, it's almost like Star Wars fans kind of eat their young, you know? No, seriously, it's like, you're good or you're not, and there's no in between. Yes, there's plenty of in between. Love what you love, ignore the rest.
Like, there's example, me and the prequel trilogy, we don't jive, we don't vibe together. But there are parts of it that I do watch, and I'm like, that's pretty dope. Like, Phantom Menace.
Episode 3 wasn't bad.
Yeah, Phantom Menace can eat it. But the whole end part with the lightsaber battle, Darth Maul and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, that's the jam right there. The Duel of Fates, that's the shit, dude.
Shout out to John Williams who made it what it is.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones, that one can eat it. But Yoda and Dooku and Obi-Wan and Anakin, that fight did pretty dope. All the Jedi at the end, the lightsaber battle, yeah, it was great. Revenge of the Sith can eat it, but Obi-Wan versus Anakin.
Don't try it.
He had the high ground.
That's my jam. Anakin didn't listen. What happened? He now has no legs and he's missing both his arms. There are things that you can pick and choose from, like the sequel trilogy, the whole Leia in space using the space floating. That was like, oh, that
technical foul.
Yeah. A foul on the play. Yeah. 15-yard penalty. Loss of down. Sorry, went sports ball there for a minute.
It's okay. I got it.
So yeah, as a whole, the sequel trilogy, it didn't work together independently. Each movie was fine. I mean, Last Jedi was good, and Phantom, the Force Awakens was good. They were all right, and then the last one, Rise of Skywalker, they tried to, J.J. Abrams was like, let me fix all the stuff that Rian Johnson broke. They just didn't have a plan, and that's why it suffered. But you don't have to hate Star Wars forever. Some people.
No, and look at today. The different things that it spawned. Have you met anybody who doesn't like The Mandalorian?
I have not yet.
Nor have I.
This is the way.
I mean, it is a fantastic show, and it brings back, it harkens back to the days of, when I watched it in the whole, end of the season, Luke Skywalker reveal. I was just like, the tears coming out of your eyes. You're like,
oh yeah, oh God, yes, I wept a little bit.
5 years old again, and it's Empire Strikes Back all over again. This is amazing. This is what Star Wars is supposed to be.
Right.
I watched all the reaction videos. I've seen people, grown men, cry. I did too. It was amazing.
Right there with you.
Just if you don't like the new Star Wars, watch the old stuff.
Right. And look forward to what's coming. Because there's probably going to be some pretty decent stuff, especially now with, Filoni and Jon Favreau at the helm.
Yeah. And that's and it leads to this isn't just for Star Wars fans. It's don't hate on things that have been announced or that are coming that you don't know yet. You haven't seen a trailer.
You haven't seen it.
Haven't heard a director being attached. The new Superman movie that's supposed to reboot that's in development. People just heard, oh, J.J. Abrams is attached to produce it. Oh, he's going to ruin another franchise. He's going to ruin Superman too now. He ruined Star Wars. He ruined Star Trek. Hey, it's going to be a bunch of lens flare. And you're like, come on, man. It just announced he's producing it. You don't know who's directing it. And I'm trying to tell people, well, Ta-Nehisi
we don't know who's going to write it.
Well, actually, we do. Ta-Nehisi Coates, who had a fantastic run on Black Panther comics and Captain America comics. Fantastic, amazing. He's an amazing writer, and he writes for the mainly he writes for the Atlantic. He's African American. Cool, awesome, kick ass.
Even better,
exactly. But people took that and ran with it, and they thought, oh, he's a black writer. He's gonna make Superman black. It's like, you don't know Henry Cavill. You don't know anything else. So people just they get fearful or whatever, and they're just like, they're gonna fuck up Superman, or that's gonna ruin it. There's no point.
Well,
have faith or hope.
I mean, look back at how people lost their minds over the whole Batfleck thing.
Yeah, you're like, okay, whatever.
And
I like Affleck as
he
Batman.
he wasn't bad.
Unpopular opinion. I liked him as Batman.
Okay, he wasn't bad. He wasn't Val Kilmer. I mean,
Right? He didn't have bat nipples. I mean, I love how his laugh washes out the sound. Like he hits the peak and it has to like shut down because he's just so. Ooh. That's why we have our catchphrase on our podcast of pillow, because we had to tell Timmy to laugh into a pillow.
Should I get my pillow?
You can if you want to.
Okay.
I mean, you can get your hashtag pillow as he goes to get his. You'll see, folks. You'll see. So, yeah. Another thing I have that, yes, there it is. It's a fantastic pillow of my own design, and it's available also at our Teespring store. A really fancy pillow. It'll go well with all your other nerd shit. Trust me. I'm a professional. But another thing that kills me in movies, TV, in general, is how they waste food. But like, okay,
what if it's not real food?
Well, fine, if it's not real food, whatever. But that's not the thing. Is they, the kid comes downstairs from their room. It's like, hey, Timmy, breakfast. Get something before you go to school. And the kid comes down to school and he's like getting ready for school, whatever. And he's like, and it's like a plate of eggs and there's bacon, there's pancakes, there's toast. Like it is a spread. Like hungry kids in Ethiopia would kill for this food. And it's just this table full of food, and the kid sits and he like has a sip of his orange juice and he pokes his fork around in his eggs and he takes a bite and he's like, "Hey, Mom, I'm late, I gotta go." And he rushes out the door and he grabs like an apple or a banana or something. And it's like, there's this table of food.
It's like, time out, dumbass. At least take the bacon.
Right? Yeah. Like, why do you need to? I don't know if it's leftover food from the craft services. They're just like, fuck it, just use it in the scene. But like, is it necessary? Like, do you have to? I know it's a dumb thing to complain about, but it's such a tired trope where it's like, if you're not gonna have the kid eat the food, don't put the food there. Just make toast, or just design the
Here's
scene,
your Pop-Tart.
right? Or design the scene where the kid actually gets downstairs enough to have breakfast with their parents, whatever, and they have a nice conversation that advances the plot or sets up characters in the movie. I don't know, but making a table full of food that you end up just tossing out or sits under those hot ass studio lamps and it just wilts under that intense heat and no one ever eats it.
So is it bad writing?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it's used to cover up the deficiencies in the script or character development or God knows what. I don't know. All I know is I see it far too often and it bothers the hell out of me to the point where I'm sitting here on a video podcast complaining about it.
What about unresolved conflict, aka cliffhangers?
No, cliffhangers. Cliffhangers in themselves.
I'm looking at you, Fox.
Cliffhangers in and of themselves aren't bad because a lot of TV shows that are episodic and serial in nature, they have cliffhangers to end their seasons, and then you're like, oh,
right.
You got to wait the whole summer till the next season to find out what happens. Did they kill my favorite character? Oh my God, what's going to happen? Oh, did the aliens really win the battle? That kind of shit. But the unresolved part is when they do a cliffhanger and then you don't get another season because your show gets canceled.
Right, and if the people knew the show was going to get canceled beforehand, write an ending.
Yeah, or I know it's easier said than done because a lot of shows they don't get the ratings that the studio or the network doesn't think the show getting the ratings it deserves to keep paying for the expense of the show, so they cancel it like halfway through the season, or the season's over and then they cancel it in the off season. It's like, fine, I get that, but would it kill you to give us like a 2-hour wrap up mini
Right.
movie kind of gig to wrap up the story? Like
Serenity.
right? Or there was a show on NBC. It was a show me and Little Bit watched. It was like a time travel show that they ended up canceling, and there people were like, "Come on, man!" So they gave it like a 2-hour movie to wrap everything up, and it was like, I mean, it's not ideal, but or like Sense8. It was a show on Netflix that people were really into. It was a very gender bending, genre bending show, and it was really progressive. And they canceled it, and people were like, "That's BS, man." So they gave it like a 2-hour wrap up movie, and it was like
Never saw it.
It was pretty good, and people were satisfied. Like, yeah, we'd like more show, but this is something we're not just sitting there wondering, like,
right. It's like
years after, like what would have happened if such and
right. It's
so,
like you get nothing, or you get some finality. It's like closure.
We all need closure. Nerds need closure.
We need a lot of damn closure as
we
nerds.
don't.
Yes.
Far too often we do not get it. Yeah, I'm still mad that they canceled The Pretender, and that was in 1997.
Okay, I thought you were going to say Almost Human.
That too.
Great show.
Still mad at Fox for that. And
Well,
I've met Carl Urban. He's a fantastic human being, and I'm still mad that I told him I was like, man, they did you wrong when they canceled Almost Human. He just kind of nodded and was like, yeah, man. And also, when they gonna do another Dread movie? Yeah. So cliffhangers.
Whenever I met Mike Coulter, I was asking him questions. I'm like, will we ever see Luke Cage again? He's like, God, I hope so.
Well, now that the MCU and Marvel and Disney can use those characters, there's an opportunity. Like, there's rumors of Daredevil being in Spider-Man 3, and we could always see Luke Cage in another Avengers movie or his own. It's possible. It's the MCU. You never know. Kevin Feige's a genius.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I'm not wrong. So cliffhangers. We agree they're
cliffhangers. Well,
we agree
and networks that don't give a show a fair shake.
Fox.
I'm looking.
Sci-Fi.
Yep. Well, yeah.
NBC. Pretty much all the networks, like particularly science fiction and shows that are cost intensive. Like, they don't give the story time to develop. Like, sci-fi is notorious. Everything they put on their network, it just ends up getting canceled for whatever reason. They're just like, oh, we're not getting the viewership that we think we should for this show, so now it's just gonna cancel it.
Well,
and this
even goes like way back. You remember, like, whenever we were watching the Galactica reboot, we're like, oh, there's a half season. Do we get more? We don't know. Okay, there's another half season. Do we get more? We don't know.
That leads me to another thing I'm going to complain about.
Go for it.
Mid-season hiatuses. Like, you remember, we're old men now, but you remember back in the day when a show came on, it came on in September, and that sumbitch ran all the way till May. Like, they took breaks for like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and like the holidays, whatever. But it was like, we'll return next week with a new episode of whatever.
Super Bowl, nobody wants to go against that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
But nowadays, like Walking Dead, these other shows where it's like, oh, it's a mid-season finale. And then you're sitting there dicking around for 2 months while you wait for the dang show to come back, and you've forgotten everything. You're like, you lose the build-up, you lose the momentum for the show.
For sure.
Like, there was a show on NBC a few years ago. It was like supposed to be an event series. It was about like a plane crash, whatever. It was like a mystery deal. And like,
I think I remember seeing something about that.
It was on, and then it was like called The Event. I think it was even called The Event.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Dumb like that. It was on, and then we're like, oh, we're going to go on hiatus. It was on hiatus for like 3 months. People forgot about it. It lost its momentum. It lost its mojo. And when it came back, the ratings slashed in half big time, and it ended up getting canceled because they're like, well, no one's watching. I wonder why no one's watching.
Because they're terrible storytellers.
That and because, just put the show on. Just run the episodes.
Right.
Why you got to take a break? Has everyone gotten that soft? Does everyone needs to take a damn 2-3 month break? You got into a TV show. Do the TV show. It's a job. Treat it like a job. I can't just, regular people can't work a job and just be like, you know what, I'm going to take like 3 months off. Like if you're not a teacher or whatever, and even then you're still probably doing work. But it's not like, I have a regular job. I mean, you know what, I'm just going to not freaking go to the thing for 3 months and just come back and then be like, cool, right? I
I would
remember how to
like
do
to have
the
my
job.
annual sabbatical. Give me my sabbatical.
Give me my 3 months off, dang it, right now. And I'm going to come back in 3 months and remember how to do my job. And
it's not rocket surgery. If you have momentum, keep momentum.
Right.
That's a great rant.
Yeah, like just through the hiatuses. You should only have a hiatus when your season's over and it's summertime and you're preparing for next season.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Don't give me like September through October episodes and then go on a break until like freaking January. Like, dude. Like I get you want to have a break for Christmas, but don't take the whole month and a half. Get out of here with that. Get out of here.
Yep.
What else you got?
I've talked about my big two.
Oh,
you keep going.
Two? Okay. How about action movies and the action hero? There's two things. Two things. My big fat fingers, my big sausage fingers. Two things. One, reloading. Look, I get it. Gunplay. Bang, 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 bang. We love gunplay. I love gunplay movies. I love shooting and stuff. It's great. Great action movies. Like big guns, machine guns, mini guns, all the guns, bullets everywhere. I'm down for it. Give it to me. All in my face. But you got to reload sometime. Like,
Do you?
You do. I think because there's already so many ways to suspend your disbelief in these movies. Like, I get it. But change your clip once in a while. Like, I watched Commando the other day. We all love Commando, right? It's one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's classics. Sally, remember when I said that kill you last? So I was like, yeah, Matrix, you said that. I lied. He drops him off the cliff, and I'm just like, yes. And he like goes to the Porsche. He's like, we don't have a car. He's like, yeah, we do. And he just pushes the car over. Like he's like, yeah. And like that's a 3,000 some pound car. And he's just like, yeah. He pushes it over like. We're already led to try to suspend our disbelief, or like, okay, you want us to believe this guy is super strong and powerful and he's, unstoppable. Fine. Okay. I get that. But then he has all these weapons that he's carrying that he never reloads once. And he's like, actual combat doesn't work that way.
Nope.
I mean, you got to give us a little bit of realism, I'm just saying. I know it's a dumb thing to complain about, but we never said these complaints were going to be reasonable.
It's not a dumb thing to complain about.
If you want reasonable complaints, you start your own show and you can complain. Second thing is when they get wounded or they inevitably get shot and they're just like, oh, and they get one in the leg and they're like, oh, and it's like, oh no, and it's like, Commander Steele, are you okay? In that gravelly voice of the action hero, like, it's
just a flesh wound.
And you're like, that's you were shot in the big fat meaty part of your thigh.
It is actual trauma.
That's trauma. That I've seen enough shows and like actual like real life medical stuff where it's like, and I worked for a company that manufactured durable medical equipment. It was a company that manufactured a thing. It was called a wound vac, and people who would get penetrating wounds like knife wounds, gunshot wounds, diabetic wounds, whatever. Like there's a big hole in their leg or on their foot or something ridiculous and gross. So they'd have to get this machine. It attached to the wound, and it helped it keep it dry, moist but dry at the same time. And it would just suck out all the goo, so the wound would heal from the inside out. And so you get penetrating wounds like this, and I'd see these things come in request for this machine, and you'd get medical, like doctor's notes and stuff attached. Like, patient came into the emergency room with a penetrating gunshot wound to the, upper thigh, blah, blah, and it goes into extensive detail about the trauma in the person's leg. Like, oh yeah, there's a hole blown in their leg, the side entry wound's the size of a dime, and the exit wound's the size of like a freaking $50. Yeah, it's massive. So it's shredded. It's shredded their thigh muscle, their femur's broken, and you're like, but in the movies, it's like, it's like a little bug bite. Like, oh, I got bit by a fire ant.
Oh yeah, and they're always like, oh, no, it's not bad. It's a through and through. So does it automatically stop bleeding?
Yeah, it's a through and through. It's like, well, so you've got a hole on both sides of your body.
That seems like a bad idea.
It seems like blood would be pouring out of both of those holes,
right?
Pretty rapidly. And they're like, oh, it's cool. Like, the guy just takes like, gunpowder out of a bullet or whatever, puts it in the hole, does the thing and lights it. It cauterizes his own wound, or he heats up the edge of a knife, and he's like, and it's always that heroic yell. Yeah, making faces on the show, ugly faces, and then like the wound is magically better, and he has full range of motion, and he can run still, and he's just like, or he's like, the bullet's stuck inside, I'll make it. He puts a duct tape.
It's all bullshit.
And you're like, you don't duck. No, you don't duck. Okay, yeah, I get it. It's a movie, but it's like, I would just like refreshingly to see one time a guy get shot in the arm or the shoulder and be like, oh, and cry like a bitch because it hurts like oh my god. It'd be just down on the ground, like drop his gun and be like, oh my god, go on without me, man.
This sucks.
Oh, this hurts so damn much. You're like, Commander's in a flesh wound? No, asshole. Gunshot wound, man. You see I'm bleeding? I've lost a chunk of my body. I have white hot lead burning inside of me. Please send help immediately. But you never see that. Just one time. I would love to see that. It would be hilarious. Like, it doesn't even have to be like a comedy. I mean, just like a real action movie where the guy's like, you'll be fine. You only got shot in the calf. It's like, I have to run, you idiot. How am I going to do that? Half my calf is gone. I don't think they fully understand, that's why I like John Wick. I have complaints about John Wick too, though, but I like John Wick, the fact that he does, one, reload, and two, when guys get shot, they go down and stay down. I mean, except for John Wick, though, because he's the hero, so he's still got to be. I don't know how these guys. Let's drop him off a roof, and he'll hit every awning on the way down. 4 stories, and he'll hit the ground. That'd be fine. He'll be fine. He'll survive. He's John Wick. But I guess if my complaints, if they took them to heart and they actually made a movie, taking all my complaints to heart, the movie would last 20 minutes. The superhero got shot. He'd be like, "That's it. I'm done. I'm over. I don't. You want to rescue this chick anymore? She can, whatever. You can have her. She's not worth it." Or what? I'm not gonna rescue these little kids. I don't even know these kids.
Somebody get me medical attention and then take me to that breakfast that nobody ate. I'll eat all the eggs.
I left my house this morning. Right? All I had was an orange. If I knew I was going to have this kind of freaking day, I would have stayed there and had
a full breakfast
and just been late to work. All right. And if I was late to work, I might have missed the terrorist takeover of the White House. All right. I don't need this today. All right. I've been shot 3 times and I think I'm dying. I'm bleeding out. And I'm hungry, right. And all I can think about is that at home, that bacon is just sitting.
Bacon. It all comes back to bacon.
All comes back to bacon. Maybe if I had bacon, they wouldn't have gone garbage.
What else we have to rant about?
Oh, I think I have. Oh, here's my last one.
Okay.
This is a good one. technology, obviously in movies, it's always fanciful and it's always more amazing than the actual real stuff we've got now. It's always like it's a near future or it's like in the year 2205. It's always something crazy like that.
Right.
Mankind has discovered warp drive technology faster than light travel. You know, and it's always like, oh, we're gonna go on an expedition because we've discovered an alien world, Alpha Centauri. And it's like, we've now discovered faster than light travel. We're gonna fire up the FTL drive and we're gonna go on an expedition there. And they do, and it takes them like a year to get there or whatever. And it's like pew, and they come out of warp drive, light speed, and they're in orbit around this alien planet, right? First off, it's an alien planet, right?
Of course.
The only humankind have never been to. And so it's evolved on a different evolutionary path than Earth did. And since it has no humans there, it also has, we have no immunity to whatever germs and diseases may exist on that planet.
Right.
That's cool. We're just going to go out without, pressure suits. And we're just going to land on this planet. And we're just going to walk around, breathe in the
Just
air.
assume that, yeah, we can breathe and everything is going to be fine.
Everybody take deep breaths of this alien air that no human being has ever breathed before. How could there possibly be a problem? I think we'll be fine. And they're never fine.
5 foot?
Someone always gets infected with something. They get mutated into some alien goo being. I'm talking to you, alien. I'm talking to you, Prometheus. That's right. Yes, you.
It's exactly what I thought, Prometheus.
Prometheus.
What a terrible movie.
They've got hey, we've got these drones that can map these unfamiliar surroundings and buildings, so we'll never get lost. And we immediately get lost. Or you've developed this faster than light travel. You've got drones that can do GPS charting, and you've got AI and computers, and you've got droids and cyborgs and artificial intelligences, fanciful advanced technology. Yet you still got projectile weapons. You're still taking gas-powered guns. They're still walking around with M16s. Hey, cool, right? You couldn't take the time to make a ray gun, a pew pew. Give us some pew pew, a laser gun, some plasma beam technology, something that equals this advanced warp drive technology you've got. We can transport.
I'm thinking Stargate. Because they always just had the stock military issue.
Stargate, they can get away with that because you can explain that they discovered a Stargate that can instantaneously, technology from a highly advanced society that is extinct that made these gates and seeded them throughout the galaxy.
So you're going to give it a pass because you love it.
Well, yes, but also. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite thing besides Star Wars.
I know.
But it gets a break because they didn't develop the technology. All right, so it's far advanced, further than they could ever do. They're taking advantage of it. And they're just hey, let's just suit up. We don't know what's on the other side. Fuck it, let's go through it. And they go through it, and it's woo. And then they, end up in shenanigans and situations. They get, out of their depth, and they get in above their heads, and that's the fun of it. And they're just trying to find a way, to pull their ass out of the fire that they, purposely threw their ass into. That's why it was fun. But I'm talking about the movies where humankind has developed this technology, but then, either the people who are making the show or doing the movie aren't really thinking it all the way through. I had a discussion. I was at my best friend Eric's house yesterday for my nephew's 7th birthday. He's an adorable little dude. He got a dinosaur and a Spider-Man comics for his birthday. Cute kid, whatever. So we were discussing the Terminator, right? Me and you would probably be those guys that would get uninvited to parties because we would point out the bullshit in these things that don't make sense. Terminator, for example. Okay, it's a titanium endoskeleton with actual living tissue and flesh surrounding it, right? Okay, so we understand to survive, skin needs to have blood flow. It needs to have arterial and it needs to have venous blood flow. So if this thing has tissue, so it obviously has arteries and veins. So it's obviously got blood flowing through it. Okay.
It's got to have a heart.
Well, it's got to have a heart to pump the blood, but it's
Right.
got to also have lungs to take in oxygen to oxygenate the blood, because you have, the veins bringing the blood into the heart and the lungs, whatever, and then it gets oxygenated and then it gets pumped back out into the arteries.
We know how it works. Yeah.
Right. It's just technical. It's science, biology. It's how it works.
It's science. Yeah.
And we were like, okay, so it doesn't have a heart. So how does it oxygenate the blood? It doesn't breathe, so it doesn't have lungs. So how does it get oxygenated in his body to get to the heart? So how does the blood keep the skin alive? So how does the skin not just die and fall off, and then you got an exposed Terminator? Like, how do you keep it from getting necrosis? And
Be like, necrotic and like a futuristic zombie.
right? And I'm just like,
that's something I had never considered.
and now next time you watch Terminator, you're gonna be like,
This is bullshit.
yeah, he's total bullshit. Yeah, you're gonna be like, God damn it, Geekfather ruined it. Can't ever watch Terminator again.
A little bit.
Yeah, little tiny amount. So we'll apologize if I did that for you. So, that's just some of the things that we went off about on this episode. If you've got any things that you want to go off about, you can leave your comments down below and let us know. Please do. I love to interact with my fellow nerds and geeks in the universe. So we've had fun. Have you had fun there?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. We have to do this again sometime, so you guys should stay tuned for the next episode. Again, drop a like, subscribe, and keep watching and commenting. Don't forget to check out the Blurredies podcast, available on all major podcast platforms.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm. It is. I'm just saying, not saying that because I'm a host. I'm saying that because I truly enjoy the show, and people have told me that they like it. So
I've never missed an episode.
He hasn't. He's even been on a few. He's the reason why we have the pillow catchphrase. Hello, Timmy. And on that note, we want to check you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and bye.